just talk about, you've had some time to think about the victory and everything. How you feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel like we had a good win, good team win, but it's time to build. We're already on Campbell, building our game plan. It's time to go get another one.
And to piggyback on that, what do you feel like you did well this past game that can help you as you prepare for this next game coming up? How do you keep the confidence keep going?
Yep, just like any week, you just build off of what you did well. You look at the things you did not so well, and you correct those mistakes. As a team, we're doing that. We're on the right page, and we're just getting ready to go do it against Campbell.
Both of you, what does a win like this, the way you did it, help you moving forward as a team?
Yeah, I think any win's always a big win, especially in college. It's hard to win, so you always got to take that as it goes. But I mean, of course, rivalry, importance, that it means to not only the school, this community. I think that was big for us, especially going in, conference play. I think it's going to help us a lot as we go throughout there. And like I said, Braden would say we just got to keep capitalizing off of it. We can't let it get too big for us at the same time. But we got to use the good things that we did, keep building off of that going into Campbell, and then also look at what we did wrong and just keep making those corrections so that we can be ready for Saturday.
Yep.
Braden, same thing for you. What does the win do for this team moving forward?
Yeah, I believe it's just something to build on. Obviously, we snapped our losing streak, and this was a big game coming in, a lot of hype around it, and just to walk away with a W from this one, just puts everybody on the mindset that we can go and do this. No matter how big the game is, no matter how small it may be, we can go in and treat every opponent the same and go in and handle business.
You mentioned the hype for the game. How big an effect is the crowd noise or the crowd support a game like this against Norfolk State?
You're talking about during the game?
During the game.
Yeah, it was awesome to be out there with packed out stadium. I love the environment. It wasn't too distracting. I tried to keep my focus during the game, on the game. But yeah, I love the environment. Love playing. Especially celebrating with the fans.
Jonathan, you've been through a couple of these before, both on both sides, the winning side and the losing side. What is it like to be on the winning side?
Oh yeah, so it's always great to be on the winning side. I think the biggest thing is just, like I said, for us to get that that win, snap that losing streak. I think it was good. It's, as far as morale, but just also showing what we can do. Norfolk State, they're a talented team. We went out there, we competed with them, we won. So I think it's showing us that we can win these games. Like I said, it's just big momentum for us going into conference play. And then, like I said, we just gotta look at Campbell as it's not a bigger game just because it's the next one. That's how we gotta take it.
Now the game against Campbell, of course, that's a conference game, which makes it more important. Their record isn't all that great this year, but they have played East Carolina and they played North Carolina State last week. On both of you, we asked, what are you doing to prepare for them?
For me, I treat every opponent the same. You give every opponent the respect, no matter their record. They played some tough games, and you see on tape they're a very competitive group, and we expect to get their best when we play them. So I treat them the same. Just watching tape, taking notes, seeing where we can beat them as a team.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think, like Ray said, just looking at what we can do, what we can take advantage of, just like any other week. Like I said, we can't treat it any other bigger than any other game, but we just got to go into it. That's the mentality. Like I said, even though the record might not, reflect, what they've done. They play some talented teams, and that's one thing that we really have to take into account, going in this week. And like I said, we just got to prepare, do what we need to do. Like I said, fix what we need to fix from last week, but also just build on from what we did well and keep going into Saturday.
How does this help you from a mental standpoint? Because riding a losing streak like that, you had to be going at some point down, okay, this can't continue. Do you allow yourselves a sigh of relief, or you just work on the next thing?
I'm always on to the next. I treat everything the same. Even when we were losing, it was just how can we get better? How can we eliminate the mistakes that are causing us to lose. A lot of the time, it was just us beating ourselves, making mental errors, and it wasn't just being outplayed.
Yeah, I think it started from, just mentality that we went into the week. Even Coach was saying it, we just got to go in, we got to attack it. It's nothing different. Like I said, we were able to kind of figure out stuff we need to do. So many things we did that probably didn't put us in a situation, to win some more games, just stuff that we were hurting ourselves. And I think we were able to iron out that a little bit last weekend. We still even have some improvements, in that aspect of the game. But I think, we've really been focusing on that this week, taking it into account, like I said, because it is conference play. And we just got to keep it up as far as that goes.
All right, any more questions? All right, thank you guys. All right, and at this time, we got head coach Trenton Boykin for you, and we'll start off with the opening statement from coach, and then open the floor up for questions.
Good afternoon, everybody, and just appreciate the support. All glory definitely goes to God for sure. Excited about for our guys and our coaches and the community and the university having this opportunity to play this game and to win the game on Saturday. And it's a great rivalry game, and you enjoy it for the moment, but it's time to get back to work.
Coach, I know you were excited about the win afterwards. I almost got a sense that you had a huge sigh of relief to some degree. I asked your players this. Do you allow yourself to at least enjoy the moment, or do you just ready to go on to the next thing?
No, we enjoyed it. At that moment. These guys have worked hard. All summer and all camp, and to be right there in a lot of games and to see how they work and how the coaches prepare. It's just good for them and to reach that goal that they were looking for. To get on the winning side, and so. I enjoyed it for that evening, and hopefully our players did. And by the time I got up and got to the office Sunday morning, it was off to the next one.
Coach, how have you seen the freshman running backs step up with Snipes not being as available recently?
They've done a great job. They've prepared, but it's not so much shocking to us in-house. I mean, when we recruited these young men, we thought they were pretty special at that time. And, we felt like, we didn't know how many, but we felt like one or two of them would have a chance to play. And so, again, just to see how they're coming along, and with Snipes being out, them just getting more reps at practice and more game time playing. You're seeing what we saw in them as we were recruiting them out of high school.
You talked before about how you wanted to get the passing game going. How important has it been for you to supplement that and complement that with the run game in the recent couple games?
Yeah, it's been great. We've had an opportunity to really make teams play the full width of the field and the full length of the field. Teams know, we do like to run the ball, but now that, we're starting to show that, we can get the ball downfield and spread you out and getting the ball into a lot of people's hands, it's really given us a great balanced attack offense. In the last 2 weeks, you're talking about 7 or 8 different guys touching the ball and having an impact. So now you have to really play on the defensive side. You really got to play the whole field, because we got guys that can catch it and run it, and our quarterback can throw it and run it, and so it just makes us a lot more balanced.
As enjoyable as the win was,
Yeah, we have personal. We have we call them friendly reminders on Sunday. And we can't. Some penalties. They are what they are. But the ones that I probably harp on the most are we had 3 personal fouls, and you can't do it when you have a chance to get off the field defensively. You can't have those type of penalties that extends the drives that keep your defense on the field. Another series and another 7 or 8 plays. So yes, we talk about it. We have our friendly reminders on Sundays, and it's something that it's talked about constantly because those things are going to matter. You got 6 weeks left, and who pays attention to the smallest details? That's what you're going to see in these next 6 weeks. Who can get rid of the unnecessary mistakes? You'll see those guys start to rise to the top in our conference.
Does a win like this for you guys do for you moving forward?
I mean, you want to win every week. It's good to get the win. Like I said before, you work hard. You want to be 1-0 every Saturday, and you work hard. And it's just a reward. Nothing is guaranteed. Winning is hard, but when you put that much work into it, you would like to see the fruits of your labor. And so, to get that win. Again, it's just for them. It's like, hey, the things that Coach talked about, the works that we put in, the things that they talk about with each other, it paid off, and so it hopefully is a springboard to more to come.
You talk about a springboard. Talk about too, with Braden coming in and playing the way he did, make some real good decisions. I really like the run he has and the touchdown. What do a game like this will do for him for the rest of the season?
I think each game is giving him more confidence, and you can see that. You can see how he prepares. You can in meetings. You see how he prepares in practice, and so he's getting those reps. And again, like anything, when you start to feel comfortable out there, you make plays. You see the game differently. The game slows down, and I think that's what you're starting to see is the game is starting to slow down for him, and he just feels comfortable being out there.
Tell us a little bit what to expect from Campbell.
Coach Harris does a great job. He coaches with a lot of energy. So his team, you see that when you watch film on all 3 phases. They play with a lot of energy. Defensively, they're big and strong up front. They fly around. I think they're averaging 2 takeaways a game. And so you have to be aware of ball security. Offensively, they throw the ball about 63% of the time, but they have 3 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. They kind of have a 2 platoon quarterback system that both of them can be in the game at the same time. So you have to be prepared for where they're at, where either quarterback is at on the field, and they got 3 good running backs. And like I said, they throw it, but they still want to run the ball. Then special teams. You got to prepare. They give you different looks on their kickoff return unit. They give you different looks on their punt team, and so you got to be prepared for them, and you got to be able to match their energy. So we'll have to once again play with all 3 phases at our best.
And Coach, also this week, Andre Jackson Jr. was named CAA Rookie of the Week for his performance against Norfolk State. What have you made of his season so far?
Man, another freshman who we recruited that we had high expectations for. I don't know if we knew he would play as much as he has been, but comes from a family of great football knowledge, just has a knack for the game. And again, what you see is how he prepares, and so for him to win that award is just a tribute to him and the defensive staff and his position coach.
What does it mean for the development of the program to have these freshmen come in and be impactful in their first year like this?
It means a lot because it shows that we're hitting on the right young men. It shows that when we say we're recruiting high school guys, they know, hey, I got an opportunity to play. It's not just come and get redshirted. If I'm good enough to play, then I'll get to play. So it shows that we're recruiting the right young men in this program, and it helps us in the future recruiting that these guys know that, man, if Hampton is recruiting them, they have a chance to get on the field their first year if they're good enough.
All right, any more questions? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.